Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. Today's lesson is less is more. Buddha says that pain is in the desire. The more we desire, the more pain we will be in. The one way to be happy, according to him, is to eliminate desire. Once doing that, you eliminate the pain. Now, it's also an impossible task because when you want to eliminate desire, you are wanting to eliminate desire. So, in other words, you are desiring to eliminate desire, which is impossible, and that's the point. An endless thing that you'll never get out of. However, you can definitely try to reduce your desires. Things that you want that you don't really need and you can do without, then do without. If you need a new phone, but yours works and is perfect, it's not the fanciest, but it works and it does the job, then eliminate the desire to get a new phone. Same thing, do that with makeups, Xbox, and whatever other consoles and technology that you may need, including cars. Now, life is pain, and that is very obvious. You've heard it before, you heard it many times, and a lot of philosophers say it in the same way every day. Including religions. But there's philosophers that say happiness is running from physical pain or having convenience. Of course, you can run from physical pain as much as you can. However, once you are out of pain, the smallest thing becomes painful because you're not used to pain. And the reverse is possible. When you have a lot of pain every day, and something happens to you that is minimal, you won't even feel it. For example, if you're working out in the sun, hardcore, every day, once you get an office job, no matter what they give you for work, it's not painful. It's easy. That's because you know worse pains. When you come from a life of poverty, the life of richness looks weak for the weak. Those people who complain about the smallest things, you see that. And you think they're weak because you come from a much worse place. Now, if you were from riches and you go to poorness, you'll feel horrible. You'll be the opposite of that. You'll feel all the pain crumbling down into you. The world is destroyed, depression, blah, 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 blah. World is ending. Also, minimalism is less. The less you have, the less problems you have. The less objects, the less those objects get to own you. Less is more, and more is less. Minimalism believes in having less stuff, and with that, you become happier. Happier because the object that you have that is super fancy and you take care of every once in a week, you do not need to take care of it anymore. For example, if you have a very expensive plant, or plants at all, you're going to have to take care of them every day. Now you have another hobby. And you have the plants and the other hobby. Now you have 2 hobbies to take care of weekly. Then you have 3 hobbies, then 4 hobbies, then 5. And then it goes on and on and on. And your time gets spread thin. Same with the responsibilities such as having kids or other things like multiple jobs. Perhaps 2. More than 1. But that's just one spectrum of it. The one minimalism I'm talking about right now is objects. However, you can also do it in the form of video games. For example, in my life, I play many video games, and I have one that requires my attention, Clash of Clans. It uses a lot of resources, and it asks for my time every once in a while. It's completely useless, it's fun, so I do it. But it does not benefit my life, and quitting this would free up space in my day. However, once freeing up space in my life, I would have a vacuum to fill, and that vacuum will be filled by other nonsense stuff, such as watching YouTube videos or short videos on Facebook, or just opening my phone and turning it off. Once you free up your time will be slow and painful. You need to free it up with something else, which brings me to the next topic. You are the slave of your habits, no matter if they're good or bad, you're a slave. So you better start making some good habits and become slave to them. Because between the good and bad, I prefer the good. Some of those good habits could be exercising, could be reading books, watching movies instead of YouTube, instead of playing games, be with your family and talk to them, or talk to friends or hang out more. Whatever boats your boat. And that is the lesson of today. Thank you.